Today is the day that internet celebrity Ryan gets engaged to his girlfriend, and I, as his third party, have no qualms about sitting at the main table. I happily introduce myself to his fans. I really don't know how I got so bold. I even showed up at someone else's engagement banquet. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Everyone is pointing fingers at me, but I still eat with gusto. Even a video of Ryan and I's relationship is shown on the big screen. I was supposed to be the heroine of this engagement banquet. Ryan's engagement banquet. Everyone was happily wishing the couple well. I was wearing a red ching sam. I was wearing high heels. I was sitting at the head table. Everyone was looking at me. As soon as Ryan's parents saw me, their faces immediately changed. Sophia, why are you here? Why are you sitting in this position? This is not a place for you to be. I slowly took a bite of my food, thinking to myself, as Ryan's mistress, shouldn't I come congratulate him? Besides, today's bride-to-be Emily is still my best friend. Ryan is quite famous online. His engagement banquet is being broadcast live. He wants to take this opportunity to increase his popularity even more. The camera is now on the main table. What I said was heard by everyone in the broadcast room. The broadcast room, which originally had only 1,000 people, instantly filled with tens of thousands of people. The comment section is full of people who came to watch the fun. What's going on? Ryan has actually cheated on me. And the mistress even showed up at the engagement party. What's going on? I'm so shocked. This is as exciting as a movie. Ryan grabbed Emily. He came at me angrily. His eyes were full of anger. The screen in the broadcast room kept flashing. The anchor had already appeared. Everyone was waiting for an explanation. Ryan saw that things were not going well. He quickly explained to the audience in the broadcast room, "This is my cousin. She's usually quite naughty. She likes to joke around. Don't take it seriously," he said. Then he turned to me. His face was serious. "Cousin, you've really gone too far today. This is not the place for you to fool around at your cousin and cousin's engagement banquet," he said. While under the table, he gave me a few kicks with his foot, hinting that I should cooperate with him, but I just didn't want to. He rolled his eyes. "What cousin? I'm your mistress. We've slept together, don't you remember? Don't worry. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm here to wish you well. I wish you a long and happy life together. Have a baby soon." I said this with a smile on my face. Emily listened to me. Her face turned red with anger. I turned to her. Smiling, I said, "You're my best friend since childhood. How could I miss such an important event as your engagement? Don't worry. I won't steal the limelight. After you get married, I'll still be like before. I'll take good care of Ryan with you." The audience in the live broadcast room was stunned by my words. This third party is really arrogant. She actually came to the engagement banquet and said those things in front of the official girlfriend. I've really never seen such a shameless person. Growing up together since childhood and stole someone else's boyfriend. What bad luck. The number of people in the live broadcast room is still rising. The number of comments is flying by. It's almost impossible to read them all. Ryan's face is distorted with anger. He thinks to himself, "You're here just to cause trouble, aren't you?" I said with a face full of grievances. "How could that be? I really came to wish you guys well. I don't want to ruin your engagement party." At the engagement party, Ryan's relatives are all staring at us. Everyone is looking forward to it, wanting to see the fun. At that moment, Emily suddenly leaned over Ryan's shoulder. Crying, she said, "Ryan, brother, don't blame Sophia. She's been spoiled by her parents since she was little. She's very stubborn about getting whatever she wants. But she's actually not a bad person. She just has a bit of a princess temper. Don't be angry." With her wet eyes, she blinked and walked over to take my hand. "Sophia, ever since we were little, I've always let you have the good things. I remember when we were kids, you took my clothes, shoes, and toys. When we were in middle school, you took my first love. And when we went to university, you took my place in the competition. I never got angry." I sighed and continued, "But this time, I really can't let you have it. I really like brother Ryan. I really can't live without him. Please, don't take it from me this time." "Okay," Emily said while crying. Her eyes were filled with tears. It made everyone feel sad. The audience in the broadcast room also stood up. They all said that this was really too much. They even tried to take away the boyfriend. This kind of behavior is really not right. It's really too much, she said excitedly. This is downright bullying. Those bullies really deserve to be punished. Ryan's mother hugged Emily tightly. She comforted her softly. Baby, don't cry. We definitely don't approve of her. You are our Ryan's daughter-in-law. No one can take your place. Watching this scene, it's really a heartwarming picture. I didn't come here to separate you. I want to join you. The two sisters grew up together. Now they are both with the same man. It feels pretty good, right? Don't worry. The position of the main wife will always be yours. I will never compete with you for this. As soon as I said this, everyone was stunned. It's almost like a modern concubine. How can you say such a thing? She's really a bit uncouth. What kind of upbringing did her parents give her? The relatives at the banquet began to whisper. The comments in the live broadcast room also came one after another. Some marketing accounts cut my words into a video. As a result, this matter immediately became a hot search. The number of online viewers in the live broadcast room instantly soared to over 1 million. Some people even dug up my personal information. They sent me threatening messages. A few minutes later, my phone kept ringing. All these were from unknown numbers. I knew without even answering. They were definitely cursing at me. Yes, I was being cyberbullied, but I didn't care at all. I continued eating my meal leisurely. The situation was getting more and more serious. It would get even more exciting. At this moment, Emily suddenly knelt down, with a pleading look in her eyes. She said, "Sophia, I beg you, please stop this. After the engagement banquet is over, I will come and apologize to you in person. I can give you whatever you want, but I really can't give you Brother Ryan." She paused for a moment, then continued, "I know that you have envied me since we were young. You think that I get good grades, and that I am popular with the boys, so you have always looked down on me, but it's okay. I will still treat you as my best friend. Why don't you just admit it to everyone, that it was a joke, and we will just pretend that it never happened?" Okay, Emily's actions have made the audience in the broadcast room even more angry. They think I'm a really bad person. How could this happen? The victim had to kneel before the abuser. I can't stand it. I really want a knife to teach this person a lesson. I have to know everything about this person in 3 seconds. It's not too much to be hard on her. Emily really knows how to act pitiful. No one knows better than me. She's the one who stole the clothes, the shoes, and the boyfriend, and the spot in the competition. Every time I get angry, she suddenly bursts into tears. It makes me feel so bad. Even though I've always considered her my best friend, I've never really blamed her. But this time I really can't stand it anymore. We're not joking around here. I was Ryan's mistress after all. You can't possibly think I'm joking. I've got the evidence to prove it. Saying this, I connected the big screen in the banquet hall to my phone. I started playing the photos of Ryan and me. There were photos of us eating together, traveling together, and even staying in hotels together. See, I told you we slept together. You didn't believe me. Now everyone is shocked. The number of people in the live broadcast room instantly doubled. The comments hurling insults at me just wouldn't stop. She actually released all the photos. Is this something to be proud of? I've never seen such a brazen interloper at a decent girlfriend's engagement banquet. This is really outrageous. What does she mean by posting these photos? Does she want everyone to praise her? She doesn't think she's amazing, does she? The banquet hall was in an uproar. The relatives were whispering. The noise just kept going. Ryan, who had been silent for a long time, finally couldn't hold back. "Sophia, that's enough. This is not your home. Don't make a scene here. I did talk to you for a while, but we broke up. There's no point in you showing our photos. I'm in love with Emily now. No matter how much noise you make, I'm not getting back together with you." Ryan's words made me feel like he was playing the poor victim here, like a girlfriend who's been dumped. It's really unconvincing. He obviously doesn't dare to tell the truth about what happened. Instead, he wants to use this to hype himself up. The netizens in the live broadcast room were even more scathing. Everyone felt that she was not a mistress at all. She was downright shameless. They had broken up, yet she was still clinging on. She even said something disgusting like sharing her boyfriend. Has she lost all sense of decency? I really have seen it all now. This is the first time I have seen an ex-girlfriend act like this. She even went to the engagement banquet to stir up trouble. It really has refreshed my perception. A new topic quickly appeared on the hot search. It wasn't a mistress. It's the ex-girlfriend. It's really laughable. This morning she was still calling me baby, and now she says we broke up a long time ago. Ryan was afraid that I would continue to make a scene, so he threatened me directly. You better leave, or I'll call the police. The relatives nearby also started to make a scene. Yes, call the police. Arrest this crazy woman. She has no manners. She actually came to someone's engagement party to make trouble. That's great. I was hoping for this, she said while looking out the window. The siren was already blaring. 2 policemen walked in, they asked. Who called the police? She immediately raised her hand. In an urgent tone, Comrade policeman, I called the police. I want to report Ryan. He took my dowry of $1 million, but he had an engagement party with someone else. Early this morning, I dressed up in the clothes I had carefully selected and excitedly went to the engagement banquet hotel where Ryan was supposed to meet me. But when I saw the welcome sign at the entrance, I was momentarily dumbfounded. It said my best friend Emily's name. I hurriedly found Ryan and asked him if there was some mistake. He stuttered, dared not speak. His parents also looked embarrassed. It seemed like they had something to say but were afraid to speak. I kept pressing. Finally, Ryan's mother spoke up and told me the truth. It turned out that Emily was pregnant with Ryan's child, so they decided at the last minute to replace her as the heroine of this engagement banquet. Ryan and I started dating in college. It's been 8 years already. We are finally about to get married. Unexpectedly, he is cheating on me with my best friend, and she is pregnant. A few days ago, we were still discussing where to buy a wedding house and where to go on our honeymoon. As a result, I came here today with high expectations, but what I got in return was his betrayal. I didn't expect Emily to suddenly become pregnant. I can't let her get pregnant without being married. That would be so unfair to her. You are both women, especially you. Emily is still your best friend. You should understand her more. Hearing this, I really wanted to laugh. Can she control whether she gets pregnant or not? You still can't control yourself, she said angrily. I really didn't expect it. I can't believe that the 2 people I trust the most have done this behind my back. You did this to yourself. Why do you want me to understand? At that moment, Ryan's mother came out to persuade her. Sophia, don't say that. After all, she's pregnant. It's just an engagement banquet. You're still the one who will be with Ryan in the future. We only recognize you as our daughter-in-law. Ryan immediately agreed. Yes, it has nothing to do with getting engaged with her. I will still be with you. You will always be the one I love most. I was a little shocked to hear this. I thought to myself, what does this mean? Does this mean I'll be the third party? After they get married, I'll still have to take care of him together. Ryan immediately nodded. If you're willing, you can, don't worry. I will never let you suffer. I won't let her bully you. That's right. I will protect you. He followed up. Right now, the baby is the most important thing. Let's wait until they have the engagement banquet. We'll talk about the rest later. Okay, at that moment, Ryan's mother quickly took my hand. She looked nervous. She was afraid that I would say no. This family is really nice. Ryan and I have been in a relationship for 8 years. We started preparing for marriage 2 months ago. My parents said that as long as I was happy, that was all that mattered. They didn't even ask for a dowry. They even gave me a dowry of 1 million yuan. Ryan said that we needed money to hold an engagement banquet. In the end, she took all the 1 million. Now she's using my money to get engaged to someone else. Who can stand it? Didn't you say I should be the other woman? Then I'll obediently be the other woman. Police, I want to sue Ryan. He took my 1 million dowry, but he got someone else to throw an engagement party. As soon as she said it, the scene immediately became lively. Everyone was asking, did Ryan really take her 1 million dowry? Is that true? Some people questioned her. Don't listen to this crazy woman. She's just saying this to stir up trouble. At that moment, an older man couldn't hold back any longer. He immediately said, Sophia, stop talking nonsense. It's illegal to lie to the police. Ryan has already broken up with you. It's pointless for you to make a scene here. Just leave quickly. Don't wait for the police to throw you out. It's so embarrassing. Who would dare to marry you in the future? The people in the live broadcast room are also echoing. It's crazy. This woman is causing trouble again. The police should arrest her. We can't just let her go. Let her go to jail. Seeing this situation, the police are beginning to doubt. You said she cheated you out of $1 million yuan in dowry. You have any evidence? Of course I do. I connected my phone to the big screen. I played back the chat history between Ryan and me, as well as the transfer records. I also got the CCTV footage from this morning from the hotel manager. Not a single word of what Ryan said was left out. Now the relatives present and the audience in the broadcast room understood. Ryan was a scumbag, and Emily was the mistress. The man who told me to leave just now had a really bad look on his face. It was as if he had eaten something bad. The audience in the broadcast room began to change their opinions. It turned out that she was the victim. Everyone misunderstood her just now. That guy is really unreasonable. He actually got his girlfriend's friend pregnant, and he even made his girlfriend act as the mistress. What a scumbag. It seems that Ryan is really a scumbag, that Emily is not good either. She's like a green tea bitch. It's really funny. Before, I felt sympathy for her. It's really ridiculous. This wave of reversals instantly heated up the atmosphere in the live broadcast room. The hot search is also constantly refreshing. The tables have turned. Internet celebrity Ryan is a scumbag. Emily is the mistress instead. Ryan had hoped to use this live broadcast to get famous. But instead, the screen was full of insults. He panicked. His phone was flooded with private messages from people insulting him. He was so scared that he quickly turned off his phone. The live broadcast also stopped. It's okay. This is just a live broadcast. I can turn it back on. I immediately picked up my phone and started the broadcast again. The netizens who had been watching the fun just now immediately flooded in. I pointed the phone at Ryan's face. Pay back the money. I just said that. Ryan's mother pushed me away. What money? You made those videos yourself. Our family didn't take a penny from you. Don't talk nonsense here. Go away, she said while trying to push me to the door. I quickly dodged. Really? It's illegal to lie to the police. You could go to jail. Ryan's mother was shocked. She stuttered and couldn't speak. The police officer walked up to her. He stared at her and asked, "Did your family really receive a dowry of 1 million yuan from this woman? Please answer honestly." Under the stern gaze of the police officer, Ryan's mother had no choice but to lower her head. She softly admitted, "It's true. This family is nothing but a bunch of fraudsters. Luckily, the beautiful woman didn't marry him. They should be made to return the money." The comments in the live broadcast room were going crazy. It turned out that all the people who had insulted me had become supporters. Ryan saw that his cover had been blown. He stopped pretending. He said directly, "So what if it's true? You were the one who wanted to marry me, and you didn't even want any dowry. You insisted on giving me this dowry of 1 million. Now you want it back. What's more, I haven't even said I'm breaking up with you yet. I just said I'm having an engagement banquet with Emily. In the end, I'll still be with you." Ryan's mother immediately supported him. "That's right. Emily is pregnant. Naturally, she has to put the baby first. You're so useless. Your stomach hasn't moved for so long. If you keep causing trouble, I'll let my son break up with you. You'll never see him again. That's too harsh." I really want to slap them both. Even the audience in the studio is angrier than I am. Finally, her true colors have shown. She really thinks she's an ancient prince, and she still wants to have concubines. This is the classic case of wanting something for nothing. She wants the money from the original wife, and she wants the child of the mistress. This is the first time I've heard something so shocking. Ryan's mother saw that I was silent. She thought she had me in her grasp. She said coldly, "If you tell the police that you gave us the money willingly, I'll let you go, and your son and Emily can continue their engagement. If not, you'll never see my son again." Bah, who wants to be with him? I don't need him. Just give me back my money, otherwise we'll meet at the police station. I looked at the scene in front of me. The police were speechless. You received 1 million in dowry from Emtikes Sophia, yet you still held an engagement banquet with Emtikes Emily. This is fraud. You must return the money immediately. Seeing that I was so serious, Ryan and his mother's faces changed. It seems that they spent quite a lot of money on this engagement banquet. It is not so easy to come up with that much money all at once now. Ryan's face was not good. Looking at the police, he hesitated. Comrade policeman, we cannot come up with that much money now. Can we be given a few more days? We cannot make a decision. We have to ask Emtikes Sophia for her opinion. Ryan didn't like the sound of that, but there was nothing he could do. Sophia, I spent all my money on the engagement party. You know that. Just give me some time. I'll be able to pay you back. I sneered and answered, okay, then beg me. Ryan was furious. He gritted his teeth and said, Sophia, you've gone too far. I had no intention of giving him face. I looked at him defiantly, responded quickly, I can't wait. Ryan was so angry that he couldn't speak. There was a long silence. Finally, he managed to squeeze out a sentence between his teeth. Please, give me a few days. I was in a good mood. Since he had humbled himself and begged me, I would give him another 3 days. If I don't get the money after 3 days, you're going to jail. Meanwhile, the incident continued to gain momentum online. It was much more popular than it had been at the beginning. Some marketing accounts are spreading the news like crazy. Even many news media are following the story. Ryan and his mother's statements have been edited into a funny video. It has been widely circulated. Netizens in the neighborhood even went to the hotel entrance. They were ready to rush in and interview Ryan. Ryan's reputation has been ruined. It is basically impossible for him to become an internet celebrity again. However, this is not enough. I turned off the live broadcast. I picked up my phone and sent a message. Come in. Jason was furious and walked quickly in. His gaze was like a laser on Emily. Emily's face suddenly turned white. She quickly hid behind Ryan, stammering, Jason, why are you here? Who let you in? Hurry and drag him out. Police comrade, protect me. He's going to hurt me. Jason hadn't done anything at all, but Emily was already panicking and at a loss for words. I turned my head and looked at her. Teasing, what? You're so excited to see your ex-boyfriend. Is there something you're not telling me? Emily immediately became nervous. She waved her hands and said, don't say anything. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I broke up with him a long time ago. What do you mean by bringing him here? Jason, on the other hand, stared at Emily. His tone was angry. You actually wanted to take my child and marry this gigolo. Are you trying to humiliate me? Everyone around them was stunned. It turned out that Emily's child was Jason's. This is my child. It's mine and Ryan's. Don't you dare say anything. Emily became more and more agitated as she spoke. Anxiety was written all over her face. Ryan's mother listened. She stood up with some dissatisfaction. This is our Ryan's child. How can you say it's yours? Speak with evidence, without proof. Don't say anything. Jason gave a cold smile. His eyes showed disdain. Of course I have evidence. This woman only found out a few months ago that she was pregnant with my child. I still have the pregnancy test. He shook his head. His tone was tinged with anger. She resented the fact that my family was poor. I couldn't give her the life she wanted. She even ran away with my child without saying a word. If it wasn't for that live broadcast, I wouldn't have known that she had found a new man so quickly. After saying that, he turned his head and looked at Ryan. His tone was provocative. Brother, are you happy to be this woman's new boyfriend? Ryan was stunned. He didn't expect Emily to lie to him as well. His face was full of shock. Emily quickly grabbed Ryan's hand. With a full face of anxiety, she said, it's not like that. Don't believe his nonsense. This child is yours. Ryan also hesitated in his heart. He couldn't believe Emily completely. An older woman next to them interrupted and said, then whose child is it? Isn't it clear to do a paternity test? Emily immediately refused. Do a paternity test. The child is still so young. If something goes wrong, are you responsible? The woman continued, you don't need to do an amniocentesis. You can just draw the pregnant woman's blood. It's safe and accurate. My daughter works in a hospital. I'll ask her to help. The results will be out quickly. Ryan's mother also said, yes, I'm not accusing you. Everyone will feel more at ease if we do a test. But Emily was still very resistant. I continued teasing. If you don't even dare to do a paternity test, are you really the father? Emily glared at me. She was furious. She thought to herself, you're the one who's bad. You messed up my engagement party, and now you're trying to drive a wedge between Ryan and me. I sighed. I never thought you'd do this. You planned all this. Didn't you just want to ruin me, ruin Ryan, and you want my baby to be aborted? Yes, I did arrange it. Jason contacted me after watching the live broadcast. He told me that the child in Emily's belly was most likely his, so I gave her the address of the hotel. I asked her to join in the act, but I still have to thank Emily. If she hadn't done such a thing, I wouldn't have been able to stage such a wonderful performance. A true friend would not be with my fiancé. I don't want to know anything about your affairs. You got yourself into this mess. Just now there has been a lot of scandal. His reputation is ruined, and now he's been betrayed. Ryan can't take it anymore. He's determined to get his own back. He grabs Emily by the wrist and asks, just do a paternity test. Can't you? What have I got to lose? The baby my fiancé is carrying is mine. It has nothing to do with that guy. And with that, everyone heads for the hospital, with Emily in the lead. A few nosy relatives tag along. They were eager to see the final result. Jason warmly invited me to go with them. I wanted to witness this dramatic moment with my own eyes. Of course I wouldn't refuse. Thanks to the help of my aunt's daughter, the test results came out quickly. The results showed that the child in Emily's belly was Jason's. It had nothing to do with Ryan at all. Emily already knew the result. She kept her head down and didn't dare to look at anyone. Ryan's last shred of hope was gone. Emily, how could you lie to me? You said you didn't want people to gossip. I changed the engagement banquet to your name for you, and this is how you repay me, he said angrily. If I hadn't come for the checkup today, would you still want me to raise your child with someone else? Ryan's mother also broke down. She sat on the ground and began to cry. This is really sinful. Why did you find such a daughter-in-law? I already said that she was worse than Sophia, but you didn't believe me. What are we going to do now? Ryan was furious. He pushed Emily angrily. Get out of here. The engagement banquet didn't happen anyway. We have nothing to do with each other from now on. Emily looked aggrieved. She knew she was in the wrong but didn't dare argue back. She could only vent her anger on Jason. Are you happy now? You went to all this trouble just to get me to go back with you, didn't you? You've achieved your goal. You must be really happy. Let me tell you, I'm not going to work outside. From now on, you'll give me 10,000 yuan every month, and I want 500,000 yuan as a bride price. I won't marry you if you don't give me that. Jason was so angry that he was about to burst into flames. He was looking for somewhere to vent his anger. Just then, Emily's words ignited his anger. He suddenly grabbed Emily by the neck. Emily felt a sense of oppression from his strong arms. A strangulation mark quickly appeared on her neck. Who said I'm going to marry you? He asked angrily. I just can't stand the idea of you parading around with my child. Ryan doesn't like you. Do you think I like you? He said coldly. If the baby is born, I can pay child support, but there is no way I will marry someone like you. After saying that, he pushed Emily aside. He walked away without looking back. I looked at Emily, who was treated like a burden. I felt in my heart that she deserved it. Just as I was about to leave, she tightly grasped my hand. Her eyes were full of anxiety. Sophia, you're all I have now. We grew up together. You know what I need. You won't let me down. Right, my child is your child. You can be her godmother. Your family is so rich. A little money from them will be enough for both of us. When she said this, her eyes were full of expectation. I didn't care. I thought to myself, what does her child have to do with me? I pushed her hand away. I felt like this was a joke. In the end, Ryan and Emily's engagement party did not go ahead. Emily returned to her rented room in a daze. 3 days later, Ryan asked me to meet him at a coffee shop. He was going to return the $1 million I had lent him. He looked much thinner. He no longer had the same confidence as before. It was obvious that he had been having a hard time recently. I took the money and was about to leave. I didn't expect him to give up. Sophia, I think you are the most suitable person for me to marry. Can you forgive me? I will definitely throw you a bigger engagement party." He continued. "Before, it was Emily, that girl who seduced me. In fact, the person I love most in my heart has always been you." I really couldn't help but laugh. If I had known he was so shameless, I would never have missed it. "Who wants to marry you? I'm not interested in you," she replied without hesitation. Ryan still wouldn't give up. His eyes were pleading. "We've been talking for 8 years. We've been through so much. Are you really willing to just break up like this? Today, I even specially brought 80,000 yuan as a bride price. I know this may not mean much to you, but this is the thought of my parents and I. I really want to marry you." He seemed a little agitated. His tone was full of helplessness. "The best times of my 8 years were with you. I really can't live without you. You can't just ignore me like this." She felt a wave of contempt in her heart. He was the one who cheated. Now he's acting all pitiful. It's ridiculous. "Ryan, it's really not worth it." I finished speaking and turned around to leave. I didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. I got back the 1 million yuan. I was overjoyed. Just as I was sitting on the balcony, enjoying the beautiful night view, the trending topic on my phone suddenly caught my eye. Online, it was actually saying that this internet celebrity Ryan was troubled by relationship problems. He said that if his ex-girlfriend didn't forgive him, he would jump off a building. I opened the hot search and took a look. Ryan had posted several tweets. He said, "Sophia, the 8 years I spent with you were really wonderful. I can't imagine how I would live without you. During this time when you weren't here, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. If I can't get your forgiveness, then what's the point of living? I'm sorry for what I did before. I'm willing to spend the rest of my life making amends. If you still don't want to marry me, then I'll have to jump from here. I'll atone for my sins with my life." The people nearby couldn't help but shake their heads. What is this guy up to? If you really want to jump, hurry up. Don't drag us down with you. The incident from the other day has attracted a lot of attention. A few messages posted by Ryan have suddenly attracted the attention of netizens. Netizens who know what happened have commented, "Why is she just not willing to forgive? She knows in her heart, right? She cheated on him and is still pretending to be devoted. This is no joke. She's still trying to morally blackmail him. You can see that you don't dare to jump. You're just here to attract attention. No one really cares, okay? But some netizens are still worried that he might actually jump. Don't be impulsive. After all, life is most important. Sophia, you should go take a look. It'll be trouble if something happens. Who wants to go?" "I'm not going. Throw your phone away. Curl up under the covers, sleep like a log, and end up sleeping until noon the next day." The phone buzzes again with a message from Ryan. I can't believe he actually spent the whole night on the roof. The crowd forms a circle. They're waiting to see what happens next. A lot of police and firefighters have also arrived at the scene. They're starting the rescue operation. The netizens who were so sensible yesterday are now changing their attitude. Everyone thinks Sophia is heartless. The boy is already in this state. Why doesn't she come out and persuade him? Does she have to wait until he jumps off the building before she feels happy? If the situation is really that bad, just forgive him. The two of them have been together for 8 years. Can't they just talk things through when they encounter problems? Yes, it's no big deal. He's just made the same mistake that every man makes. Since he's come to this point, just forgive him. Hearing these words, I was speechless. People nowadays. Is it that whoever feels pity for someone has the right? I turned off my phone. I didn't want these things to ruin my mood. At that moment, there was a sudden sound of banging on the door outside. It was Ryan's mother. "Sophia, open the door. My son is about to jump off a building because of you. Hurry up and come out. Don't pretend you can't hear me. I know you're in there. If you don't come out, I'll get someone to break down the door," she shouted angrily. A crowd had gathered outside the door. There was no chance of escape. I summoned up the courage to open the door. Ryan's mother was at the door with a group of people. They all looked fierce. As soon as I came out, they pounced on me like hungry tigers. "Sophia, today you must promise to marry my son. For your sake. He hasn't eaten or drunk anything. He has been sitting on the roof all day and night. If it weren't for you, she wouldn't be like this. You want her to keep suffering like this?" The other party was furious and flushed. She pointed her finger at me. It almost poked my nose. This has nothing to do with me. I didn't force her to go up to the roof and not eat or drink. Whether she jumps off the roof or not is none of my business. You're really ruthless. If it weren't for you delaying her for 8 years, wouldn't the situation be much better? The other person seems angry. Her voice has risen. She is also waving her hands. We had an agreement. She was going to bring 1 million in dowry and marry me. Now you say you don't want to marry her. She is about to have a nervous breakdown. Don't you think you should do something about this? That's ridiculous. I know exactly why I don't want to marry her. Everyone around us is pointing their fingers at us. Yes, after all, it is also a life. Girl, don't be so selfish. You're the only one who can save him now. If you don't, you'll be no different from a murderer. I'm sick of this moral blackmail. I didn't want to argue with them, but now it seems I have no choice. You think I'm going to marry Ryan now and bring a dowry of 1 million yuan, right? Ryan's mother paused for a moment. She didn't expect me to agree so quickly and to be willing to bring a dowry. She perked up immediately. She said firmly, "That's right. The dowry of 1 million yuan was agreed upon before. Not a penny less. I agreed without hesitation, but I don't think just talking about it is enough. Why don't we write something down? That would be good for everyone." Right? Ryan's mother thought this was a good idea, so she said, "Yes, we must write something down. Otherwise, what if you don't want to pay in the future?" I quickly turned around and went home and printed out a contract. It said that Sophia had to promise to marry Ryan and give the man a dowry of 1 million. Otherwise, Ryan said he would jump off a building. The people around her were a little uneasy. They persuaded Ryan's mother not to sign the contract, but she didn't care at all. She felt in control. She wasn't afraid of any tricks I might play. Without hesitation, she signed it. After getting the contract, she happily left with the others. Soon after, Ryan came down from the roof. Ryan sent me a message. He sounded quite confident. It seemed like he thought I couldn't live without him. He said he was waiting at home for me to marry him. I didn't reply to him. I went straight to the lawyer. I took Ryan's family to court. As a result, they were sentenced to 5 years in prison for blackmail. My family and I then left that city. We went to a new place. We started a new life.